Record. All right, so normally it will be the last Friday of the, or last Monday of the month that we have kind of our just smaller group team calls, but we swapped it out this week because of some speaker schedules. So I'm excited because in our team page, I started seeing where people were saying either like, I feel like this business is controlling me, like I'm working all the time, or like I just can't figure out how to make this business fit into my life. And I think sometimes, it's easy now to like look at my life and be like, she doesn't work and David's home and like she has all this time in the world to work her business. But it wasn't always that way. And so I actually went back and I made a little presentation for tonight. I went back to a presentation. I just went back to my Google Drive and looked at my team call file because I was like, I know I did one back when I was working full time and like obsessively planning every minute of my day. And I had photos in that presentation in my planner. So I pulled that and I was telling David tonight, I was like, funny enough, literally they are the exact same activities like that I do now that I was doing 4 years ago. I think I've been coaching like 7 months at that point, and I'm doing the same activities every single day. I'm just doing more of them. So I'm going to share that. Let me share my screen. And you guys, as always, feel free to just hop on to ask questions. Use the chat as well. But okay, so if I make this full screen, so it's not like this view, then I cannot see you guys or the chat. And I like to be able to see the chat. So I'm not gonna make it full screen just for that purpose. So this way I can see the chat. So you guys can type in chat as we go along. But before we kind of jump into the organization part, today, this is insane. So this is our January Success Club. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me just mute everyone before we get started. This is our January Success Club board. So far, we're on, it's like the 21st of the month. Look at, and this is just our team. So normally when I post a Success Club board, I pull it from my upline Dara because it's mostly our team. Like I don't need to recreate the wheel, but this is literally just our team. This is unbelievable, and you guys should be so proud of this. Success Club 10, Ashley Sheen, Whitney Steinkoff, Corinne Conrad, Sarah England, Laurie Butcher, Teresa Forehand, Victoria Eminger, Courtney Pruitt, Katie Burns, Amy Haas, Carrie Cummings, Sam Lowe. Sam Lowe I just introduced today as an Emerald coach. She's been coaching for 2 weeks. Like, this is crazy. Success Club 5, Melissa McCann, Lindsay Hendricks, Lynn Winner, Jenna Hefe, Krista Ferrari, Christy Helene Smith, Tara Henry, Rachel West, Alyssa Taval. There's like a million of you guys. Liz Krasnall, Lainey Greer, Emily Abbey, Corey Hedrick. I love, like, so many of these names are new names. You guys are killing it. Denise Loco, Laura Beth Nickerson, Jordana, Taylor Glenn, Spencer Smith, Sarah Catherine Saunders, Leah McKenzie, Jessica Bradley, Felicia Walker, Kristen Hupp, Danielle Andrews, Kate, and Rachel Peterson. So I know I ran through those really quickly, but like, look at all those names up there, and you guys celebrate one another. I'll post this in our team page, and like, the number of people with points on the board, this is insane. This January has the potential to be the biggest month ever, and there's no reason that it shouldn't be. So, let this give you guys fuel that, why not make this your biggest month ever? Also, if you're planning to go on the Success Club trip in 2020, this month you get double trip dollars. So I'm not going to go into a ton of details about this. If you go to successclubtrip.com/2020, you will see all of the details on how to earn a free trip. Pretty much, if you hit Success Club 10 every single month, that will pay for your trip. That will give you $1,200 trip dollars and allow you to cover that basic $1,200 room. I will tell you guys, this middle photo, this was Punta Cana. This is the resort that we're going back to. And I got the basic room that year, the $1,200 room. I got the same room this time. So this isn't like somewhere like on the cruise ship, I was like, I want to upgrade out of the basic room. You do not need to do that in this resort. So $1,200, it's an all-inclusive resort. These photos are from Mexico last year. I'm super sad I cannot be on the cruise, but I'll be about to have the baby. But you guys, anyone can earn this trip. So if you are a new coach who signed up this year, I know it says that this trip, to qualify, you have to have earned points, Success Club points last year. This year, for all 2019 coaches, they are saving 100 rooms for the top Success Club point earners. Now, if you're on this call, that means you signed up in January. You have all year to earn points, whereas a lot of these 2019 coaches, right, aren't going to be signing up until later in the year. So you have a huge, huge advantage here to get signed up. If you go to successclubtrip.com, you will see there's an opt-in list. You have to opt in, and that's just putting your name on the list. I just did it for David. And then you're going to get an email when you are pulled off that list and can register. They'll be pulling people off based on their Success Club points. Again, for this year's trip, Success Club 2019, based on your Success Club points in 2018. So I know that was a lot, but just go to that website, look up the FAQ, opt into the list. If they call you off the list, you're like, oh, I just don't know, that's fine. You're not like committing to anything. So opt in and come, because it is amazing that we earn free trips, and these are like actual relaxing trips. The Success Club trip, like Summit is full of training. Success Club is like, we just all hang out as a team and talk and like drink margaritas and pina coladas by the pool. And I will tell you, this Success Club trip to Punta Cana was the first trip that David actually went on. And it is the trip that convinced him that like Beachbody wasn't a scam, and really helped change his view of Beachbody altogether. So it's really fun to be able to bring our spouses and have the guys hang out too. So anyway, enough about that, but this is exciting. This is one of the reasons to push for Success Club 10 every single month. So next is our January calendar. So I made the announcement in our team page that I'm changing this Transform 20. It was just gonna be a Transform 20 group, but I'm getting a lot of requests for like a mixed group. So I'm gonna change this to a mixed group. And if you go on the team page, you'll see I'm calling this my Self-Love Fit Club. Because the preseason's on the 28th and we kick off the beginning of February, it just kind of works in with that like Valentine's Day self-love thing. And I'm just gonna run it the full month of February, because some people, so my recommendations to people, what I'm telling them, and again, my script is on the team page for what I'm sending people. I'm saying they can do Transform 20, Lift 4. And I added Lift 4 in there because I'm rotating between Transform 20 and Lift 4. So if that doesn't make sense for your customers, right, change that script up for what makes sense for you. But because those are the two programs I'm doing, I'm offering both of those. 21-day fix, because that's like my go-to for my new postpartum moms, and then my pregnancy group is in there. And if they want to do the pregnancy group, that's just the all access Beachbody on Demand package, and that's actually a separate Facebook group. If they want to be in this, they can, but I do my pregnancy group in the Facebook group. So this is kind of the only change to this is this preseason. This is going to be that Self-Love Fit Club now. And then Diamond Bet, if you guys paid into either the Diamond Bet or Side Bet, started today. Megan did a call. Tomorrow you should be posting your call to action. There'll be another call. They're all live in the page, so you can go back and watch them at any time. Okay, so that was just a quick quick update to February. There will still be another challenge group in February, even though that one will run the full month of February. Obviously, we need something to be inviting to in February, so I'll be running a second group, mixed group in there as well. So, all right, I'm going to dive into this call, but again, you guys, please, please, please ask questions as we go. And some of this might seem really basic. It might be things you're already doing, but hopefully there's like little nuggets that you can pull out and really, you know, bring into your life. So when I start thinking about my schedule, right? And what do I need to do every single day? I then go back to what are my goals? So what are my non-negotiables that I am going to hit every single month? Because if I don't, then I'm just wasting my time on social media. And that might sound like a little harsh, but like if you're not making money in this business and you're putting time into this business, then you're wasting time, right? Because we've got to make sure you're doing the right activities that bring you income. So my non-negotiables since day one, and I really went back and was like, what did I do from day one when I was working that full-time job in like very little time? Success Club 10 from day one, and I have hit Success Club 10 every single month. That was my first non-negotiable. I knew I wanted to be a top coach, and I knew that Success Club 5 wasn't going to do that. So Success Club 10. Set a coach recruitment goal. I waited too long to do this. You know, I was like, okay, well, I'll just like see who wants to join us as coaches. And I didn't set that coach recruitment goal, meaning every single month I'm going to recruit 2 new coaches who are business building, right? Because with Success Club 10, I was signing up discount coaches, but I didn't set that coach recruitment goal. So now I do. I set my monthly Success Club goal. I set my monthly coach recruitment goal, and then rank goals. Because rank does equal income, and especially in this business in the beginning, if you can't team cycle bonus at Emerald, you're just missing out on that. You're gonna get your highest team cycle bonus at Diamond. Why would you team cycle bonus as an Emerald, lose that volume when you could be making more money on it as a Diamond? If you're using it as an Emerald and not a Diamond, you're just losing extra money. So I knew once I hit Diamond, I wanted to stay Diamond, so I didn't throw away the extra income that was coming with those team bonus cycles. So that's kind of what I thought about, right? Okay, SC, coach recruitment, rank goals. So what do I need to do to get there? So the first thing we all need to do, obviously, we have to share, right? We have to post to social media. So for me, I started planning what I was going to share each day. There are, and again, don't get lost in the world of Google and Pinterest, but there are a million ideas out there for like social media calendars and what you're going to share. For me, I kept it like really simple. Again, so Tuesdays, still to this day, are always my transformation Tuesdays. Thursdays were like a Thirsty Thursday with Shakeology. Depending on what my marketing calendar looked like, and I'll get into that a little later, I either talked more heavily about challenge groups or I talked more heavily about coaching. And so what I would do on Sunday night, still to this day do this, I do it in my planner, I would show you guys, I literally write out, and of course it's trying to make me update my app, what my posts are going to be that day. This is so much easier than it was when I started. Because when I first started, I was posting 3 times a day. We post once a day. It's like so much easier. So now I literally just post. I have down here what my posts are going to be. So every Sunday night, I plan out my posts for the week. We have to be adding to our network. Pretty straightforward. We talked about Captivating Cleaner with Instagram. With Facebook, I literally went into my friends list. I would go to one of my good friends. I would go to her friends list and look and see how many people we had in common. So if it was like, oh, here's a mutual friend with like 20 people in common, I would add them as long as we had 10 people or more in common. So I made sure every single day I was adding to my network. Connecting. So there's a difference, and I think this kind of gets lost sometimes, between connecting, inviting, and following up. They're not all the same thing. So for each of these, I had a number that I wanted to do every day. So in terms of connecting, that was maybe going to those people's Facebook pages and doing like a love bomb. So going and liking 5 photos and commenting on 2, and then sending them a message and being like, oh my gosh, like I know it's been forever since we last talked. You showed up in my Facebook feed. Your kids are adorable. Like, how old are they? And just leave it at that, right? Start reconnecting with people. And then obviously we need to do a certain number of actual invites. So these are people that I've either connected with in the past or who maybe are liking my photos and commenting on my photos. And that invite can be as simple as like, thank you so much for the love on my most recent post. Like, it's been so scary starting up this business. I'd love to humble myself a little bit, right? So it's been really scary starting this new business, and having your support means so much. Have you ever, would you be interested in getting more info on one of my fit clubs? Or have you ever thought about, doing what I do? It's really been amazing. So inviting should be that simple, but sending out your invites and then sending out a certain number of follow-ups every single day. I hear the thing I hear most from new coaches is, oh my gosh, I'm getting all these no's, or like people are ghosting me, I'm getting silence. I get hundreds of like no answers or ghosting every single month. It doesn't matter. So follow-ups, my system, I know I've talked about this before, is that if it's like 2 weeks before a challenge group and I've invited them, I'll follow up with them again like 3 or 4 days later. Hey, just wanted to make sure you got my message. I'd love to reconnect through one of my new fitness groups. If I don't hear anything, then I will wait until the Sunday before the group starts. Hey, follow it up one more time. I know you said you were interested in joining us. I've got your spot reserved. Do you still want to, you're still interested? Does this time still work for you? Something like that. If I still don't hear anything, I do 2 more months where I'll just send them one message and be like, hey, looks like last month didn't work for you. I know things were crazy right after the holidays. I actually have a new group starting in February, Self-Love, where, as moms, we're just focusing on our all-around health. It'd be super fun to connect with you in that group. Would you want any more information? And so I'll do that in February and March. Then I'll kind of give a few months off, and I'll go back to them again kind of like in the summer. So I'll do like, this would be like a winter group here, kind of skip spring, let them have some space, go back in summer. But I continue to follow up forever until they say, no, leave me alone, crazy person, or until they say yes. And most of the time they eventually say yes. So I know I have to do a certain number of follow-ups. And then personal development. This is also something I see people skip because they feel really busy. And if you skip personal development, you will quit this business. Because again, the no's and the silence will get to you. I don't even think about them anymore. Like I don't even think about it, because every day is about taking action to move forward. And so it's not even a thought in my head, but it was in the beginning. And it was terrifying putting stuff out on social media in the beginning because I didn't use social media. So just putting myself out there was scary, but I dove into social media hard, and I still do to this day. So don't forget about that. So these are some of the things I always planned into my day. So this again, you can see, this is August 3rd, 2015. So this is how I would organize my day and like my day and week. Okay, so this is a planner. You guys can use, obviously we all have different planners we like. I use this one a lot when I was working my full-time job. This is the Planner Pad. I think it's like plannerpad.com. This is really cheap. It's not like fancy at all. I know this is, I think, Moira's book, which she has like a Beachbody kind of planner. I think it has a similar format to this, but what this does is it allows you, let me go to this next one. So it allows you to plan by categories, days, and hours. So up here would be my categories. And again, I did this every Sunday night. So it was like this big brain dump for me. So SRI, this is like the company that I worked for. Beachbody, it's funny, SRI, I had less stuff on here than I did Beachbody. Blog posts, because I was doing like blogging. And then home, right? What do I need to do at home? So I would take those things and I would break them down into the days that I would do them. And then I would break it down into the actual hours of the day that I would be doing them. So I knew exactly what I was doing at what time. And I think this is so important because I find that as a new coach, and I did this as well, I would be living on my phone. I would be living by every single notification. So what this doesn't include, I mean, I would get up early and I would do my personal development. I would do my workout. So that kind of morning block wasn't in there, but that was something that I like had set in stone. And so that is how I kind of live my life now, is all that stuff is really, really set in stone for me. So what I would suggest for you guys is that you block plan. So my morning block now, I wake up, I do my affirmation, I do my affirmations, my gratitude, my personal development, and then I'll start my day with Sam and do my workout. If I was working full time, my workout would come in that block. That block is before anyone was awake, before there's kids, before there's husbands. It is just my time that I know is not interrupted. If I was working full time, I'd go work my full-time job. I did usually for like at lunch, I would try to do a post. And again, a lot of these posts I would write out ahead of time. So when I got home from work, we would do dinner, and then I would have my big second block of work. That second block of work, so sharing, I would do a post on the train on my way to work. Again, that was kind of like in my first block. I'd do my workout, my sweaty selfie, or my video or something. So I knew I had one share there. And then I had a share at lunchtime. Adding to network, connecting, inviting follow-ups. These all came in my nighttime power hour. And if I didn't finish whatever these numbers were, then I wouldn't go to bed. And it was just that simple. It just was. I knew, and again, that nighttime power hour was really when, again, I've got my team call scheduled on there, a call with Dara. You can see these are 9 p.m. So this is after I've had dinner with David, after I've done stuff with David. So we've had our family time, and now it is my business time. And I think another hard thing that I hear is like my husband is not supportive. And so what I had to do, because David thought this was just like this huge joke in the beginning, was once again, I had to set these expectations with him. Like, okay, so you're gonna come home from work, we're gonna have dinner together, we are going to, have those conversations, whatever, you're gonna get kids bathed and in bed. And then after that, instead of like us sitting on the couch watching TV side by side, like, I'm gonna build my business. So I'll sit beside you, but I need you to like, I don't even need your support. I just need your understanding that I'm gonna spend the next 1 to 2 hours like working on building a business for us. And I know you don't truly like understand that, but like it brings me so much joy. And I'm hoping that by being really like thoughtful and present in our dinner, like nighttime routine, that part where we're not so much, we're not having in-depth conversations at 9 p.m. or the kids are in bed. I need this time for me, and it will make me a better mom, and it will make me a better wife. And I promise to be present in all these other parts of my day. And I think as women, we're afraid to say that. I think a lot of times we are afraid to say, I am starting my own business and I'm doing it for all of us and I need this time. And it's okay to say that. And they may not understand it in the beginning, and they may roll their eyes at you when they're sitting beside you, like watching TV and you're on your phone or your computer. And that's okay. That is, once again, personal development for me was, it's okay that you don't understand what I'm doing. I'm going to show you, as you start seeing those paychecks come in, this isn't just some fun, silly online thing. And so again, block those times, but don't let your phone control you. Turn off your notifications. It's going to be okay. Turn off Facebook Messenger notifications, turn off Instagram notifications, turn off your notifications. Take back control of when you do these activities. Because for those people who are saying, I just feel like I'm working all the time but getting nothing done, it's because you're doing like a couple little things all throughout the day. And then you feel like you're being pulled at. The kids are pulling at you when you're like trying to message them back. You're like, oh my gosh, like, give me a second. Like, or like, oh my gosh, this is at such an inconvenient time. Or no, I'm ignoring my kids because I'm like answering messages. You are in control. So if you're ignoring your kids because you're answering messages, that's a choice. That's not something that Beachbody is making you do. And it's so important to know. So again, I get coaches who are like, oh, like, are you on social media all the time? No, because I get up, I do my personal development, affirmations, all of that. Then I will hop into emails if I have time. If Sam sleeps, right? I'll hop into emails and answer emails and messages as I can. Then nap time hustle happens, right? And even when I was working during lunchtime is when I would hop back into my email messages and all of that. So I do it in the morning, I make sure I did it midday, and then at night, I would do it then. People don't expect you to be on all the time. If you do not answer them right away or give them a share cart right away, they're not going to go run to like their next door neighbor coach. They've already invested time in you. It's going to be okay. And I needed someone to tell me that early on because I used to be on my phone all the time. So just know it's okay not to be on your phone all the time, but have those blocks of time when you are 100% present in your business, when you can work efficiently. Because when you can work efficiently, you're going to get it done so much more quickly. Jeanette, my hubby totally changed his attitude when he saw my paychecks. Yeah, exactly. And multitasking, sending invites as I listen. I think that's such a good point. There are so many trainings, guys. That's another thing when you're thinking about your schedule that I didn't really put in here. For me, this Monday night bombshell call, that was Lindsay Matway. She used to run team calls weekly. I tuned into that every single week religiously. So I would listen to the National Wake Up Call and listen to it on my way home from work. National Wake Up Call still Monday at 11. You can either listen to it through podcast, or you can listen, they now stream live, or there's a phone number to call in for a replay. So I'd always listen to that on my way home from work on Monday, and then Monday night would be the bombshell training call. While listening to the bombshell training call, I would either be inviting, or if it was something where I wanted to take notes, I'd be taking notes. Monday was that training day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, super action-oriented days, because I knew those were the days like invites worked well. So don't overwhelm yourself with a million trainings. Feel lucky that we have the trainings and know where you can access them, but you've got to take action on the trainings. So that is really, really important as well. Don't go into information overload without actually doing anything. It's funny looking at this list for Beachbody, 100-person list. I did this every single month, every month. This was the beginning of the month, so I was making my new 100-person list. So anyway, so once you've done that, the next thing that I always made sure I had a quarterly calendar. So I have created a currently calendar that I use, right? That you guys, it's in our team page. It is the pinned post to the top. If that post, someone's telling you they're like, I did not see a pinned post look on the sidebar. You'll see announcements, click announcements, and then there's a whole post with like a ton of information in it. It has our team training, it has the link to the 3-month calendars, it has our sneak peek to my website and the password. So look at that. But those, I always still to this day create a quarterly calendar. And I do that because this helps with what I'm posting. So I mentioned I'm going to plan out my post on Sunday night. So what does my quarterly calendar look like? So for me, this is how I always ran my calendars. From day one when I first started, and I learned this from Melanie Mitro Marketing Plan. If you just do YouTube search, there's a million videos. First week of the month, I ran my free group. So this was a free clean eating group. Then I went right into preseason. So I would invite these people in the free group to join my challenge group. My challenge group kicked off. And then this third week is also, this is when I would, I was running 2 groups at this point because this must have been a size release. So this was a release month. But I would do free clean eating group the first week. Third week of the month, this would be my normal challenge group preseason so that I could roll those people over, challenge group kickoff. This, sorry guys. This would also, the third week of the month, once I got people enrolled in that challenge group, so the last week of the month, I would advertise for free group. Then after free group, these 2 weeks I'd advertise for challenge group, get people in challenge group, and then during the challenge group, this week, I would be advertising for my sneak peek. So this would be a sneak peek week, this very, very last week of the month. This calendar is a little different because I did have 2 challenge groups on there. But I always knew when I was advertising for a free group, when I was advertising for a challenge group, and Coach Sneak Peek. And my post focused on that. So it looks like this month, so this is so interesting, Coach Sneak Peek webinar. So you guys, I have been trying new things and failing from the beginning. I've never been scared to try and fail. So this month, I tried a Coach Sneak Peek group webinar. So what I remember they were Zoom calls, and I had people hop on, and we kind of like did a live webinar with them, and I recorded them, and I could send them to people. People were a little scared of the live part. But again, Jen Richardson does these still now, so it works for some people. But you can see this CSP, Coach Sneak Peek exposure, Coach Sneak Peek exposure, challenge group exposure. So these exposures are when I'm actually doing a post and inviting challenge group exposure. So I plan those out as well. So it really, really, really helps if you have a quarterly plan, because your quarterly plan is going to support your monthly, and then weekly posting plan. And again, when I feel the most unorganized is when I don't have a plan. If you have a plan, it makes it so much easier. So what are some of the tools, right? So I used plannerpad.com when I first started. Now I use a digital planner. I still am very much someone who likes to write. So the digital planner, like having a pen really helps me, and I still write out things. This just allowed me to have all my notebooks in one place. Moira, who was a fellow top 10 coach with me last year, created this. It's called Rise Up. This is a planner. I know I talked about this in our team page, that if you are a coach who's looking for something tangible, it's available on Amazon. It's similar kind of format to this, where you're going to be, I think it's more just like the hourly part. You're hourly going to plan out your week. She has a place for you to put your post topic, like per day. And then there's tracking things such as inviting, it's a basic tracker. So if you're interested in trying something new, where you want to kind of combine your tracking and your planning, that's a good one. Again, I use a digital planner. Trackers. So there are weekly trackers in our new coach training. There are weekly trackers like everywhere. The best thing to do is figure out what works for you and not to get overwhelmed with tracking. So again, for me, it is check mark. Did I get my workout in, my shake in, my personal development in? And then how many connection, invites, and follow-ups do I need to do? If you guys listened to the National Wake Up Call today, the one thing she said was, I was the same way. I don't go to bed until those activities are crossed off. Like, I would just stay up if I still need to do more invites. You know, it's a really simple choice. And after you stay up a few times and you're exhausted, you become much more efficient at sending out those invites and stopping the scroll and saying, I just need to go to bed. I'm just going to get these out. One thing that I didn't really have when I first started were these digital scheduling tools. So Instagram, you can actually schedule ahead of time, and there's a ton of these. Plannerly is the one that I have on my phone. I don't necessarily use it right now because I do have more freedom in my schedule, but I do sometimes. And so what it will allow you to do is literally plan and schedule your post. You can do write out your entire post, have your photo, and it will post it to Instagram for you at whatever time you say. So if you guys want to go one step further on Sunday night than just saying, okay, this is like going to be the topic of my post, you can actually write your post out. Yeah, Jess, that's for Instagram. Yeah. So, and Jess, I know that you love Rachel Hollis. Rachel Hollis is the one who recommended that. That's how I heard about it. So, go ahead. Sorry.
I said, what was it called? I didn't see.
It's Plannerly, Planerly.
That is like my only beef with Instagram right now, other than the messages, is that I can't schedule my posts.
Yeah, so you can schedule them, and you'll be able, they have a really nice like layout where you can see visually what all your photos will look like as you schedule them. So yeah.
Too. I thought it was just like to like how it looks.
Yeah, no, it'll actually connect to your Instagram account.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. So that's a good one for Instagram. And again, I also, while I may not plan out write out actually on my post on Sunday night, there are a lot of times I've been sitting in a lot of doctor's offices recently. And so I will take out my notes, just the notes app on my phone, and start writing posts. The beauty in this business is that we connect to people through our stories. And so my stories are things that have already happened, right? If you guys haven't watched the training I feel like I'm like a broken record. I'm like, go back to the new coach training, look at the additional training videos. Ashley Laughlin did one on like telling your story, your brand, and like your avatar. It is awesome. If you don't know your stories, if you don't know, what you're sharing about and how you're connecting with people, then, do that training. Jess, yeah. Sorry, Jess, you want me to unmute you? It says question. Maybe that was old.
I was just asking if this was it because Plannerly didn't come up.
I cannot see you right now.
Oh, well, that doesn't help, does it?
Plannerly. It might have two. Oh, try Planoly, Planolly.
Okay, that's what it is, because that's what and I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I need to make sure before I leave this call I get this app.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
Planoly. Yeah. So use your notes. Like when I'm sitting somewhere, I will write out a story, just a way that, something that happened a while ago, connect it back to now. So I have different stories in my notes app, so I can pull those at different times. And sometimes for me, actually most of the time for me, I need the story ahead of time. I need to know what I'm taking a photo for. And it's funny, I have a hard time getting David to take my photos, but anytime I have David take a photo, I'm like, this is the story. This is what I want this photo to encompass. This is the emotion that I need to come through in this photo and on my face. And so having those posts written out and knowing what I'm going for versus I know there are times, and another good way people save time is when they actually do hair and makeup, change into a bunch of different outfits and then take a bunch of different photos. But for me, I need to still have the stories connected to those photos, if that makes sense. Because I don't know, I need that facial expression for me. Facebook, there's a ton of digital scheduling tools. Buffer is the one that I have used. Hootsuite, there's like a million of those. If you guys have ones that like you use now, you could write them in the chat thread too. I've just been using Buffer for so long. I think now Buffer I think you might be able to connect like 2 accounts or something. I don't know. I pay for it just because I was using it for a lot of groups. But again, there's digital scheduling tools. So you can schedule out your post. And then in terms of personal development, use Audible, use podcasts. Some people are like, I don't have time for personal development. I just don't believe it. Like, do you put on makeup in the morning? Because if you put on makeup, use that 5 minutes when you're putting on makeup. Do you drive to work? How do you get to work? I mean, I took a train, and so, Amanda, you can't do personal on Facebook on Hootsuite. Yeah. So I think you have to check out, I know there's weird things with like, Facebook doesn't want you scheduling like to your personal page. So there's like, yeah, definitely check out the different apps and what they allow you to do. Kayla, do you have a favorite notes organizer app for your phone? No, I literally just use the little notes app, but it's not super organized. Christine, YouTube morning motivation. Listen to that on my way to work. Yeah, exactly. So morning motivation, Les Brown videos. He's one of my favorites. And again, podcasts are amazing. They're free, and there's so much information out there. Yeah, I have, and so many of these books that I've listened to on Audible, I listen to again and again and again. Like, I'm obsessed with Grant Cardone. He's huge. And yeah, I think, oh yeah, Christine, Melanie Mitchell's podcast is amazing. And Jess, it does help immensely. You're right, for post. So if you think of like, if you're like, I have nothing to post about, listen to personal development. It will help so much. Yes, National Wake Up Call. So, I mean, there's just so many ways to get free personal development. But I will say there's something to be said for me, sitting down with a book and underlining and really listening to it, head on. With Audible, you can do like bookmarks, or like you can do like snippets. So I will do snippets and put some notes and kind of go back to those. But I do love books and underlining them. So if I didn't have time during the week, I would make sure I had time on the weekends. And that's one thing I also didn't mention. When I was working full time, I would get up in the morning, and it's so funny because when Dara so Dara's my coach, when she did my announcement for like hitting 2-time elite or 2-time top 10, one of the things she said was, I remember when Holly would get up 3 hours early on Saturday and Sunday before her family got up and work. And I would. And again, this was because David wanted to do things during the day, and this little business is fun, but like, didn't really want it to like super affect our lives. And so I just got up early. I just got up before he did, and I put in the work. And that, just got to be willing to do the work. I know, like, I sometimes feel like I like get so mean when people are like, I just don't have time. But the thing is, we all have the same 24 hours in the day. And so when I look around, and we all have a different busy. And I think sometimes that's the thing, we're like, well, I'm busier than she is because I'm working full time and I have kids. And when you do this, you're just giving yourself an out. And don't do that. Don't give yourself an out. Think about why you're in this. Or, well, I've got 4 kids, or my kids are in school, or my kids are babies. Like, we all have hard. We all have busy. You make the decision, am I going to do this? And I had a coach, she was like, I can't do this. Like, I need more sleep. And I get it. Like, It sucks to be tired. But at the same time, it really sucked to be stuck in a job that I didn't like. And it really sucked to think about leaving my kids. Like, that sucks. When I think back, when I got the least amount of sleep, wasn't when I was working full time. It was actually when Sam was not even newborn through like the France days. When I think about that year in France and our team's first year, like push to top 10, I can stop sharing and we can do questions in a minute, but that like first push to top 10, like that's when I didn't sleep. And Sam didn't sleep through the night till 17 months, but I literally stayed up until 2 a.m. almost 1 or 2 a.m. every single day. And Sam was up by 6:30 in the morning. So for me, I gave up that like morning block of time because I knew we'd be up at 6:30, but I just stayed up until it was done. And I know that maybe it doesn't sound simple, maybe it does. For me, I just stayed up until the work was done. So I needed my list. I needed to know what I need to get done. And then I just did it. And I think a lot of times when we're like, oh, well, I also like, I'm not seeing results, right? Like I'm getting the no's, I'm getting the silence. Like, so what else do I need to do? Probably just need to do more of what you're doing. Like, I mean, it really is funny looking at those planners because I do the exact same things. I still plan out quarterly. I still invite, I still post, I still connect. I'm still like working with, like I'm doing all the exact same things. Not that much changes. So anyway, all right. Yeah, let me make sure. Oh, Jess just posted a good YouTube in there. Yeah, so book recommendations. Oh my gosh. Okay, go look in, I think in the team page, I did a live video, like search the team page for personal development. And there's also some photos in there as well. Again, Grant Cardone is just like one of my favorites, like 10X rule, be obsessed or be average. The 12-week year is amazing since we're like at the beginning of the year. Right now I'm listening to the 21 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. It's like not the most exciting, but it's good. Anyway, there's a lot, but I went through I did like a 20-minute video on the team page, which I didn't mean to get that long on personal development. So yeah, if you're doing one a month, that's awesome. But I want to open this up, you guys. What questions do you have in terms of planning? Like what roadblocks are you hitting, or where do you feel like, I think in terms, for me, it was becoming efficient with my time. Here are the things I need to do and block out everything else, and that's why it was important to be like, I'm going to do this one training call. And then besides that, it's going to be action-based. So it's not going to be just pulling in a million different things. And I'll also say, like with the Diamond Bet starting today, there were push times in my business. So I knew that if I was in a Diamond Bet for 4 weeks, I was going to be working more because I was working harder towards those goals. And each quarter, I kind of have like a push phase. Even now to this day, this is like, and you guys have, a lot of you have been in those chat threads with me like, okay, we're about to enter this push. Like, are we going to do this? And I had to communicate that with David as well. And I think communication's so huge with husbands being like, all right, this is a push phase, and the next 4 weeks, I have to spend more time on this business. It won't always be like this, but this is to get me to that next point, right? And then it's going to slow down a little, and then we will have like our time, right? And we can celebrate. And David and I would always do that. So I'd go to this push and be like, okay, I'm going to hit Diamond, and then be like, I hit Diamond. All right, let's go out and celebrate, and kind of try to bring him in, even when he had no idea what I was talking about. But I just asked for understanding, like I really am trying to build a business that will better us. And I know this seems silly, but can you give me this time? And that was really big too. So communication, when you're feeling like no one understands around you, and even they still won't. But normally if you're like, listen, this makes me happy, I'm trying to do it to better our family and to better myself, I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, no, you've got to quit. So that was huge for me as well. But where are you guys struggling? Like, how can I what else do you guys kind of need addressed in terms of scheduling, planning, where you're struggling? You guys can totally unmute yourself.
Track inviting. I was going to put everyone in Streak, but I still just haven't, other than pen and paper, I just haven't found a better system. Like the problem I was having in December is I was obsessed with the system and I was so like preoccupied with it that I wasn't inviting because I was so preoccupied with making sure I followed the system that I just shut down because it was overwhelming.
Yeah. So if pen and paper works for you, use pen and paper. That's what I used until I started converting everyone over to email. I know Katie Norris is on this call. She uses Streak to track all her people. But again, it's super personal. Like if a pen and paper planner works for you and a digital planner doesn't, don't go use a digital planner just because I'm using a digital planner. So I used pen and paper for the first 2 years, literally until I started getting applications with emails. And then I moved people into Streak. Just because I was already emailing them. So it just made more sense.
Katie, how do you use Streak just for tracking people that you're chatting with? That's like my thing. Like, do I just add their name, like hope that their name is in underneath their handle or?
Yeah, so I have a box that says need to invite, and that's where everybody goes first. So if they've liked something, if they follow me, if they watch my story, if they comment, if they've shown up anywhere in my profile and I've never seen them before, I put them in the need to invite. And that way it automatically creates a date on there that you added them to your streak. So I give them like 4 or 5 days to kind of watch me. And then I go to invite them and I have a little column that says date invited. And so I'll just double click, put the date in, and then I move them to, like I'll do everybody and then I just check all the boxes at once and say, move to initial invite, need to follow up. But I like Streak because it keeps that date. And so like I can track of, okay, well, I talked to you 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Now I need to go back to that initial, but still need to follow up and do my second follow up or whatever it is. And it's just kind of however you want it to flow. And if they say no, I have a box that says no, and I just move them to that box. And I've got like 1,000 something people in the no, and then I've got a no reply box. After 3 messages, they go to the no reply box. But I like Streak because the dates. If I was pen and paper, that's way too much writing for me to put the date I invited them, the date I followed up, the second follow-up, because I always do 2 follow-ups before they go to the no reply box. But if I can figure out a way, I can screenshot it so you can just see my funnel and you can come up with your own funnel. But that's the reason I like it. I like the date tracking. So I know, okay, today I go in and I invite everybody who says January 16th on it, that I wrote their name in. I talked to them today. So that's kind of how I use it.
Yeah. And you can use names, or you can just use their like Instagram handle, or you can create 2 boxes. And then it's nice because the Instagram handle's in there. So you can just copy and paste it into Instagram and then message them back using,
a lot of my people don't have their names because they're teachers and they're their teacher account. So if they don't have a name, I put their handle in the name box and I put their handle in a separate column. I have a column for their handle and then notes.
Yeah, I have a column for their name, their email, their handle. I'm starting everyone that is asking me for information, or if I like have invited them and they want to hear information. I'm sorry, my lighting's so bad. I just realized. I'll move them over to Streak. I really liked it for that. I just was having a disconnect in my brain on how to get everyone who's just messaging me, because I truly dislike the fact that I cannot search my Instagram messages. You can in Facebook, on Instagram, and it just kills me a little bit.
I would put them in a like need to follow up column. If you've talked to them once, then they just need to be followed up with.
Yeah. I think that's what I need to start doing, is just having a need. Well, I just need a need to invite column. I think that's like super duper smart. That's the one part of my streak that I don't have. I have everyone else's, that categories. I feel like I have like 19 categories, but that's a category I don't have. So.
Well, and the thing I learned too is you can hide things, because not everyone gives me their email. So if I'm in my need to invite, I hide everything but date invited. So I don't see all of it. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
You gotta play with it.
Yeah, Streak, I mean, it's so customizable. That's what's so great about it. And it comes with you everywhere, like my computer with me everywhere. Yeah.
Is there the phone, or is it just for Streak, or is it just on the desktop?
There's a Streak app for your phone too, and it'll hold all your snippets too.
Blowing
Yeah.
my mind. Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is probably going to be silly. So you don't have to have all of your conversations through email if you're utilizing Streak?
You can just use it as like an organization tool. So you can enter in people without having ever sent them an email.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that never like clicked with me before, because I tried using it for emails and it just was not, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So my thing, Holly, is
Yes.
like actually have a pretty good system with Facebook right now, and that's where a lot of my interaction is anyway. But Instagram, I feel like, and I'm a pretty type A person, so I'm already a really organized person, but for some reason, I think using Captivate and Cleaner, like I'm adding so many people like so often, it is so hard to keep track of who is liking how long they like added me, how long ago, and like who's watched my stories. Cause like now it's like I went from like 40 views of my stories to like 100, and I'm like, great, I have to go through these 100 of people and see who's new, or I don't even remember when they were added because I'm using Captivate. I'm not like picking who, where like Facebook, you can go and I remember clicking add friend, and it'll tell you like, oh, this is your new friend, why don't you message them? And I'll just like, and Facebook, I actually have this like big spreadsheet because that's just how I work. For some reason, I do not get Streak at all. But anyway, like I really try, and maybe I'll try again, but right now I have like a spreadsheet of like hundreds of people for my Facebook, and maybe I should just make one for Instagram too. But I think because the Captivate app, like Instagram just is growing so much quicker. And then I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like Instagram's just overwhelming me a lot more, where I'm actually saving all the private messages in my Instagram for right now, just so I can remember who in the world I've messaged. Because I've actually accidentally messaged people more than once because I forgot that.
Oh yeah, I don't ever like delete people from my inbox. I always like they just stay in there. I flag them if I need to answer them. But with Instagram, there is a notification where you can see like your new followers. But with Captivate and Cleaner and like the number that I have as well in terms of like people following, I'm not worried about reaching out to every single person that follows me. If you add 500 new followers like in a week, it's too much.
Yeah.
And so I go to the place where I'm going to be most engaged and see most of my content, and that would be my stories. So if you go from 40 to 100, that's 60 new people. I mean, literally just take the names of those people and put them in a spreadsheet, and then use those as the ones that you're going to message or are going to start connecting with. I think it's too overwhelming to try to do everyone. So either pick stories or maybe pick a post and be like, okay, like who, and some of them are going to be coaches, and some of them are going to be like not your avatar, but that's kind of where I start. And I usually do start in stories because that's just where people are more engaged, I think.
Yeah, I get a lot more interaction on my stories, and that's what I've been doing. But then it's also like, okay, I have a 24-hour window to like hurry up and write. I have to like figure out who's
so you can see
I've already messaged and like make sure and I get them in. And then if that
so if you
go
into Instagram, and at the very top left-hand corner is that little clock looking thing, and that will take you to your archive of all your stories from the last year.
Yeah, it's in your profile, not in your homepage. Yeah, and I literally
what's funny,
messaged with that same question.
I didn't know this. I just found this out recently. I didn't have my saved archives on, so nothing has ever saved in my archives ever. And I just recently turned it on because I was trying to make those like what are those little things in your Instagram you can make like little highlights or whatever. And I couldn't make any highlights, and I didn't know why. And it's because my archive was off, so it's never saved anything, which really sucks because now I can't make highlights except for just recent stuff. But
Yeah. So yeah, with that on, then you can go back and see all the people who have been watching your stories. So you don't have to do it within 24 hours. And the same thing, you guys put like polls up there. Anyone who engages in your polls, you can see them like forever. You don't have to worry about like setting an alarm.
That helps me so much because I will go all like, I think we were talking about this the other day, Holly. I don't want to be that mom that's like on my phone all the time. And I feel like I like have to be, because if I'm not like present into like the messages and the 24-hour thing, like I'm going to miss out on a lot of opportunity. So I didn't know you could go back and do all of that, because that saved me a ton. Because I'm always like, I've got a message, or I've got a poll, or I've got a like, I've got to hurry up and message these people before it goes away, or I forget or something.
Exactly. So it'll be saved in your archive, and then you can go back forever and find it. Yeah, that archive is how it's like the best. And then then you can go back and be like, all right, here's my 100 people I'm going to message today or reach out to. And in your my assistant just taught me this. So if you guys, when you do like your poll in Instagram, you can like message people. Hold on, before I like say this and mess up exactly how I'm saying it. Of course, this is going to be super slow. But you can like message people like directly from the poll, with the little, it looks like the little paper plane. But when you do that with the paper plane, it doesn't show you if you've been messaging with them before, which is a problem when I have an assistant in there and I'm like, oh my God, that was like a coach. You literally just invited a coach to a challenge group. Like, I'm so embarrassed. So what you can do is if you hit I know I did pull, maybe I did polls yesterday, maybe it's not in here. But if you hit there's like 3 little, nope, that's not a poll. Now I'm gonna have to go back into my insights, just like I was telling you to do. I just want to make sure I actually say this right. I think there's like 3 little buttons beside it where you can like message. Hold on, guys. I promise this. Okay, so swipe up. You can see the people. So then you can press like the little airplane thing, right? And then, so you normally will just like get this. And it just says like message to Kathy and write message, which is fine, except I can't see if I've already messaged her. If you click that message Kathy Bailey again, it brings up like your full inbox. So it just saves me time, because before I was having to go to their profile, click message. So now directly from my poll, like I swipe up, I click the little airplane, and then I click there, and then I'm in my inbox and I can see all of our past correspondence, versus not having like any insight into whether I've messaged with this person or not. And you can go back and see everything. So anyway, yeah.
When you pull up your followers too, it'll always have the most recent on top. So I've been doing the like massive Captivate follows too. And the easiest thing to do is part of my power hour is just go through stories and followers. And then tomorrow when I do it again, I'll just go to the last person I saw. You don't have to write everybody down the first day. That's just what I found is easier, is check it once a day, write as many as you can for that day, and then go back tomorrow and start again.
Yes. That is an awesome way to do it. Yeah. So I think the main thing, and I think with Instagram, a lot of times in stories, we're like, oh my gosh, I only have 24 hours. And we're like feeling controlled by that. But you can access, everything for longer than 24 hours. So it's getting rid of that scary sense of urgency. Jess said I will do it when I'm nursing my son. So when Sam was a newborn, I'd always been consumed like, oh, the best time to message is like 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or not, like what are the best times to message? What are the best times to post? And he was a newborn, he was up all the time. And I was like, well, I'm up, so I'm just gonna message. And I started messaging at like 3 a.m. And I was like, people are gonna hate me, or like answering messages at 3 a.m. No one cares. Like, as long as I was getting back to messages. So I think we also have to get over that fear of like, oh, it's not coming fast enough, or it's not at the right time. Like,
so for what it's worth, y'all, I live in Hawaii, so I am 5 hours behind the East Coast. So by the time I did this whole post the other day, I am no longer working in the morning, because otherwise I am consumed by everything else that I need to do, and I completely miss my whole morning with my son. So I just went on and I was like, you know what? I'm not working until it's at night. And I'm sorry that when I'm on at 9 o'clock at night, it's 3 a.m., 2 a.m. on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. So there is a thing called do not disturb. And if you really don't want to hear from anybody at 2 a.m., turn on do not disturb on your phone. That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I built this business to top 10 from France, 6 hours ahead. So, you know, again, it just, don't overthink those things. Make this business fit in your life. Like, that is just the biggest thing that I learned. Like, this business can't control my life. I need to take control of when I do things. And sure, I take out my phone and do little like stories with Sam during the day, but like, it's a 15-second snippet. It is not me answering a million messages. I also just use voice message a lot to get through messages way more quickly. And then email snippets or on your, what are they called? The quick replies on Instagram. I use quick replies on Instagram. I mean, it takes 10 seconds. If I have a poll and people are interested, I send the quick reply, and it's super, super fast. So I think it's just finding ways to be super efficient with your time is big too.
Holly, how do you send the quick reply? Like, how do you set that for Instagram?
You have to have a business account.
That's right. Okay. I knew that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just,
Yeah.
I know if that was brought up in the chat the other day. So gotcha.
Yeah. You have to have a business account, and then it'll be the 3 little dots like beside the bar.
It's so frustrating that they're like so different, because I switched because it wasn't automatically connecting to my Facebook stories. And so it's just manually doing that like really sucked. And I know you can run ads only if you have business. And I'm just like not to that point yet where I want to pay for ads on Instagram. I'm sure it will be someday, but I'm not right now. So I'm like, well, I don't need that. But yeah, that quick reply would be.
And I mean, if you
nice.
want to keep it for the connection, you know, like you said, to your personal Facebook page and your stories.
Because
Facebook.
Right now that saves me time.
Yeah. So just have your quick replies in your in notes. I mean,
I do have one. I do have a general script when people vote on my poll for more info for a challenge group. I do have a script for that. Yeah. And I can copy and paste it, and if I need to do minimal editing, I do. But that, I don't know why I waited so long to do that.
Yeah, that's every time in notes. Yeah, I have a ton, and you can pin a note to the top. So my pinned note is all my hashtags, and then all my links to like different groups and stuff. So you can do your pinned note as your snippets too. Yeah. So that's one thing. If there's any newer coaches out there, I would highly recommend doing that, saving for scripts, because people, I get so excited when they vote on my poll for more info and be like, yay, and I'm like, oh, now I gotta type out like a whole paragraph. So super random question, just because I'm chatting with one of my customer people. They asked, when is the super fixate portion? I think March 4th. It's the beginning of March. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. She asked, like, when's that coming out? I keep hearing about it. So March 4th. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Tara, you asked, do you recommend switching to a business account? So the big issue, as Lainey mentioned, with switching to a business account is that your stories are now linked to a like page, a business page on Facebook, and not your personal page. So if you're using your Facebook personal page for your business, that means like you have to save all your stories and like re-upload them to Facebook. So that's like a lot of time. So for me though, I use my like page, right? Like I want my stories going there. I have interest there. I think switching to a business page, if you're ready to start running ads, if you want to start running ads, that's probably when you should switch to a business page. And then the quick replies is nice. And I like the insights too. Like I like seeing who, like for me, I know 90% of the people that follow me are females. Actually, it's like 94% now. So only 6% are men. Like that means that's my audience is right. Like that's who it should be. I like knowing when they're on the most, that kind of stuff, but none of that is as important as, again, like Lainey said, it's going to save you so much time having your stories linked. Yeah.
Hey, Holly, I have a question about hashtags.
Yeah.
You mentioned it and I remembered. Yeah. I've seen that you're only using like 2 hashtags now.
So I use 2 up in the main section, but then I do more beneath. I do one big one with the bigger ones in the comments.
So you're doing them in the comment now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you asked that, Jeanette, because I think I saw Sarah did that. Some other people do that too. What is that the same thing? Like it just makes your post look more attractive because it's just cleaner without 30 hashtags underneath it. And just the hashtags still attracts those people using those hashtags because it's in the comment of that picture.
Exactly.
That's okay. So I've noticed that lately, and I'm just wondering what the
and the 2 hashtags like I'll usually use up there are something that like just has to do with like really a lot with the post, and I'm not so much worried that it's like, I don't know, they're normally super small, like they're normally like 10,000 people use this or something, but in a way that's good. It's just like a super targeted one, or just something kind of tongue-in-cheek, like more fun. It doesn't have to necessarily be about showing up in the right place. So it's more of the like when people talk and say hashtag this or whatever.
Didn't Jen Richardson say that Instagram is like going towards less hashtags and we should only be tagging things that directly apply to the picture, or is that not changing anymore, or something about, she was saying eventually Instagram's going to pick your tags for you based on your picture?
That's what they're like creating an algorithm so that they can like have those, they automatically like kind of hashtag and put them in groups. But I do think it is important to have different sets of hashtags based on what your photo is. So they should, and like for me, like I have a set for like a pregnancy photo, or a set for like a photo with Sam, and a set for like a food one or something. So I have like different sets, and every set has to do, so like whatever the main topics are that I normally talk about.
Should we still have those?
Recycle them? Sorry.
Should we still have that like full set, or should we go to like just a couple main ones?
I would use them because I still gain a lot of traction by using the full set.
So I do both. I have a set that I have specifically for me. So like I have my name, my team name, just a couple, like I am unstoppable. I have like 10 that are just specifically me that I do for every single photo. Mm-hmm. And then in each of my folders that I have, so I have like boss babe, wife, mom life, stuff like that. In each of those individual folders that I put my posts in, when I like have post ideas, I put a hashtag note that just has my hashtags that are specific to that kind of brand. That has saved me so much time just doing that simple thing. And like I'll add certain things, like I just did a nap strike post because my kids have been on nap strike day 2, but just being able to have that there and ready is almost as useful as having scripts for me right now. Like that has saved
for sure. And that's what I keep in my pinned, that was that pinned note I was mentioning. Like I have those groups of hashtags, so I just copy and paste the group that I need based on the post.
So if you guys kind of want to see, like, I don't know if you can see it or not, like these, it's kind of backwards, but I have like healthy eating, and I have like when I was doing fitness, I have like promo posts, because I do promo posts in our military groups. They have like certain days that you can do certain posts. Just having all of that separated, like at team call notes, it literally has changed my world in as far as organization goes. I don't think you can make folders when you're on your phone. I think you have to do it. Oh no, you can. I don't know. I think the new folders go into like the on my iPhone one though, but I can make new folders on my laptop or on my desktop. So if anyone trying to figure out how to make your life a little bit easier. And I also have one that says invite. That's helped too.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I use my phone for so much, and I grew my business completely from my phone for a long time. So
Have you started using the alternative text on your photos on Instagram?
No.
It's like basically adding a description of what your photo is to, for example, like a blank person. And I tried it because I got like the email about it, whatever. Mm-hmm. I tried it, and that picture got so much more, like it got looped so much more.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've heard about it, like in any of the trainings.
No, I haven't, but we know like Instagram loves us to use any of their new stuff. So that's interesting. No,
Just say that again.
alternative text, right, Jeanette? Is that what you?
Yeah, what did it do? Did you put your picture and it tells you?
Yeah, like
What's
if you post a picture, if you
Uh-huh.
go to your profile, it's in everything. It's on the three dots on the top.
Uh-huh.
And then you would have to click edit.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know if you can see it here, but you see how it says like add alternative text?
Okay.
You see in the corner?
Oh yeah. I see it. Yeah,
And so
add
in
add alternative text.
Yeah.
Describe your photos for people with visual impairments.
Yeah. And you just basically write, like you describe what the picture is.
That's
So
awesome.
if it's
I'm
like
gonna
a
try
baby.
that.
And I just noticed that my picture got looped a lot more times. Because
Nice.
it was like 300 likes, and I was like, this is unusual for my feed.
That's awesome.
I just did it right now, so I'm totally gonna try that.
In your photos. Like when you upload a photo, it's actually on the photo.
Yeah,
Like in the bottom right-hand corner. Or if you tap the three, just edit it and just go to edit a current photo, and then you'll see it down at the bottom, like right beside where you would tag people on the photo.
Yeah. It didn't show up when I posted my photo because I like literally just posted as she was talking about it. But when I went back and edited it, and I mean I'm already going back to the photo anyways and adding my hashtags. So I'm gonna try that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I do like tagging people in photos. I have been doing that, and that is helpful. Yeah.
So is Instagram like, I remember I've been so paranoid in watching like some of Jen Richardson's, and maybe they were older ones, talking about Instagram algorithms and what they like and what they don't like. And I could swear in one of hers, she said, I stopped putting hashtags in comments because I could swear that there was one that said the algorithm doesn't like that. And then a recent one I saw her or somebody do was, it doesn't like it when you edit. Like if you go back and edit right away, it's going to like not show your photo to anybody. So like, how does that play in? Do you have to edit, Jeanette, to do that? Or can you do it right from the beginning? Or should I just stop ignoring these and get out of my head?
Yeah, because the algorithm changes every week and literally no one knows what it is. So whenever you watch those trainings, it's people guessing. So the best thing you can do is like just take action.
Just do your thing and hope that it works. Okay.
Yeah. And posting in comments has worked for me for the last year.
I did it once last week. It's so much more convenient because I get so wordy in my things that I run out of room for hashtags.
Yeah, exactly. So. And it works right now. I mean, for sure it works.
Okay.
So
thanks.
Yeah, I know. I think that's one of the like information paralysis things. And I'm like, I just have to do me. And same thing, I can't like watch other coaches too much. Like I can't look at their posts. I have to be like, okay, great. I'm glad they're doing that, but I just need to post or else I'm going to go insane. So
I just wanted to share one more thing that helped me this week, and I actually got a coach out of it, which I was not anticipating. So I have a friend who's a blogger, and she's a licensed therapist. I'm like, hey, you do a Monday like mindset thing. I'm doing Monday mindset. Let's do it together. We both went on each other's stories. We both promoted each other like, hey, we're going to pair up, yada, yada, yada. I had messaged one of her cousins, apparently, and she completely ghosted me, wanted nothing to do with me. And as soon as she mentioned me in her stories, that person came back to me and said, I want to do this and I want to sign up as a coach. And I was like, alrighty then. So if you have friends that are doing other things, like I have a friend who sells Monet, we're going to pair up too. It doesn't hurt to blow up their Instagram too. So if like you do something with them, like my friend is doing this challenge that I'm hosting right now, and she's posting sweaty selfies. So I'm posting her sweaty selfie on my page, and it shows up on her stories too. That's helping promote my business without me having necessarily to promote it. And it's something new, and I don't know how well it's going to work, but so far, I mean, it hasn't been bad.
Taking that another step further, Melissa McCann did a Muscles and Mascara group where she teamed up with someone from Limelight, and they ran a free group together. And so they talked to makeup and then they talked workouts, and this way they could kind of share customers, which, I mean, it works. It totally works. So doing free groups with other people where you can provide even more value for people is another way to do it.
That's so smart. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's totally happening in March.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really fun way to do a free group, take some of the pressure off you. Your clients get more value. And I think they even did like a little like joint goodie bag at the end for like whoever participated the most, and they got a little free makeup. They got a little free samples. So, oh my gosh, it is almost 9:30. I am so sorry, you guys. Are there any more questions? This is what happens. Only on this team would there still be people on this call. I am hoping there's value in this. And yeah, someone asked, can we promote Ultimate Portion Fix? You can promote it, and I can get on and talk. I'm not going to talk more about it on this call because this call has gone so long, but I can talk more about, I mean, Ultimate Portion Fix really is just 21-day fix with a couple different meal plans in there. So I can do another kind of live video on our team page, but yeah, you can start promoting it.
Is that something people are going to have to purchase, or like how is that?
It'll be like To Be Mindset.
Okay.
So Beachbody is creating these separate standalone nutrition programs. So they would purchase Ultimate Portion Fix on its own as a standalone nutrition program. So you could say, like, again, with To Be Mindset, it was very much like, listen, if you don't want to work out, you want to lose weight, you want to focus on nutrition, let's do this program together. So they wouldn't be buying BOD, but there will be challenge packs with Shakeology.
Gotcha.
But it'll be a separate standalone thing. There are videos, just like with To Be Mindset, where Autumn's going through it with all the participants. The videos are broken down into different, there's tons of different videos. And then again, they'll get the, the daily logbook and the bigger workbook. And the workbook steps through with the videos. And it goes more into, you could do traditional portion fix, which is like 21-day fix. You can do time nutrition, which we all know what time nutrition is from 8-Day Obsession, or carb cycling, which is from 21-Day Fix Extreme. So it walks you through why you would do those, what those plans look like, talks about pregnancy, breastfeeding, maintaining, losing, all of that. So more in depth and gives people a little more choices.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, they've done a really good job putting it together. I do think, just like with To Be Mindset, some of our Beachbody On Demand customers are going to get annoyed they don't get it for free, but there's a lot to it. I mean, there's 20 different videos. There's a lot. They're really creating a full program, not just like, hey, go back and look at a 21-day fix booklet. So the Fixate cookbook is not included. It would be an add-on.
It should be included, I think.
Yeah, I know
that's a good idea.
In the first one either. The included though is the kids lunch PDF with a bunch of kids meal ideas. And in the Ultimate Portion Fix, there is an entire section for kids. So how you calculate kids containers. And I believe it's ages 4 and up is when it starts for calculating kids brackets. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's really good. And I think and there's a rainbow food chart, PDF that they have for kids, a sticker tracker type thing for the kids to use. I think they're doing a really good job with that marketing piece of it.
That's cute. I can't wait to see all the adorable pictures of Sam in his rainbow chart.
Yeah, I know, right? He already loves his containers. He doesn't know what they mean, but he eats everything. He got really excited tonight because David brought broccoli. He was like, ooh, broccoli? And I was like, you are not my child. I don't want that. Keep it away from me. David always asks, do you want the vegetables that you'll eat or that Sam and I will eat? I'm like, no, I'm not going to eat it tonight, so just cook whatever. David sprouts and broccoli together all the time. I'm like, no, I don't want that. So, yeah, that's not my child. This next kid probably won't eat anything. So Jess, when there's verbiage to put out, I can post on the team page. It'll probably just be from the FAQ or from videos. I do think there's a little search for Ultimate Portion Fix. There's a little teaser video out there that they had at Super Saturday. And a blog, on the blog post. Yeah, that's about it. They are not going to push Ultimate Portion Fix until they feel like the launch of Transform 20 is complete. So they're not going to have it compete with Transform 20. So there's not going to be a lot of information. Yeah. But it'll be good. This year they are really working on pacing the launches better. Last year there were so many launches. It was like, could not do them all. It was too much. And this year they're really working on pacing. So Transform 20, and then in March we'll have Ultimate Portion Fix. Then the summer launch of the new 100-day morning meltdown. So they're working so that we can always have kind of something to promote, something new, but not be overwhelmed by it.
I don't understand what the 100-day meltdown thing is from what I've seen. I feel like it sounds so vague. I don't even know what it's, or is there not many details about it?
No, they have not put out many details. They haven't, they haven't started recording it. So the test group will be recording it live. So that's why there was like nothing really in there. They haven't even really started recording it. Yeah, but the workouts will all be 30 minutes. Like none of them will be more than 30 minutes. And then, it's 100 straight days. So Christine, I think with the 100-day promotion, it's just one of those things like, and there's going to be like, it's not like 100 days of like crazy working out. There'll be like this stretch day, and they're just like 21 Day Fix doesn't have any rest days. Like day 7's yoga. 21 Day Fix is full 21 days. There's no days off in 21 Day Fix. So I think that's kind of the idea with this 100 days. It's just 30 minutes, get up, do it. For me, I think it's good for my really competitive market. So I used to do Bikram yoga, which is, I've never done anything more intense than Bikram yoga before. And I did I think it was a 30-day challenge, which is, it's insane. It's an hour-and-a-half class in a 105-degree room. And I went to the 5:30 a.m. class, and you have to do it every single day. And it's just like, it's super intense. And it was about like committing to myself and proving that I could do it, and like doing my little like sticker chart again. Like it's ridiculous how much people love their sticker charts and like crossing things off. And so I think it's going to be about bringing out like that competitive nature, like with yourself. Like, can you do this? Can you commit to yourself for like 100 days? And I do think some of it will be like a yoga day. So if you have people who are like, listen, I need a day off, like take a yoga day off, take one of like the stretching days off. And then I also think mentally, I'm going to be talking about a lot, like, okay, so if you miss a day, what does that mean? Does it mean you quit the program, or does it mean you just press play again the next day? Life doesn't stop just because you couldn't, commit, just because you missed a day. And I think that's so many people's problems with programs is when they miss a day, they just quit. And so I think the wording around that really has to be right. Like it's okay. Like it's okay if you miss a day in 100 days, if you, have sick kids or whatever. But what we're going to do together is get back on track. So for these 3 months, we will be supporting one another every single day for 3 months. For 100 days, I promise to show up for you every single day, no matter what it looks like for you. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we'll see. I don't know. Summer's only busy if you make it busy, right? Summer's only busy because people have vacations, but vacations aren't busy. Like you have a vacation, shouldn't you have more time to work out? Like just get up and do your workout like in the morning. Like I think this is going to be something where you don't need a lot of equipment. I don't know. I'm in this, I'm tired of people's excuses mindset right now. So like, how busy can you be during the summer? Or like people are like, my kids are home. People are always busy. My kids are home. I'm too busy. Oh, my kids are back in school and there's a million sports. I'm too busy. Well, then when are you not busy? Like, I don't understand. If your kids are home or your kids are in school and you're too busy both times, you're never not going to be busy. So like, yeah. So it's going to be, I think for me, it's going to be a lot of posts like that. And I don't know. I guess I've lived on the road a lot. So I'm like, you can make it work anywhere. So man.
I just laugh, Holly. You're so funny. I wish I was like Danielle and people would try and tell me that I'm busy. I'm like, man, I wish I had Danielle's excuse and I had 4 kids and I could just show them a picture of my 4 kids. What's that like?
Yeah, I know. I know. That's what I'm like. There are too many. And that's what, like, with coaching too. Like, I tell people that. I'm like, look at some of the top coaches on this team. They have 4 kids, like Emily Swiger too. 4 kids. Like, it's craziness. Like, everyone has busy. It's just what you make time for. It's crazy.
Jeanette Leva's killing it.
Yeah, Jeanette, look at you.
4th
New
baby.
mom over there. 4 kids, newborn. It's amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Yeah, Tara, pregnant mom of 2, and you're like 32 weeks pregnant. I mean, yeah, no one can give the pregnant moms like excuses that they can't work out. So, all right, 9:30. This is the longest the call's ever officially gone. I apologize, but thank you guys. Hopefully this answered some questions. I don't know, maybe one tool in here, you know, helped with something, but for me, it is just power blocking my time and not doing hour-and-a-half team calls. So I apologize. This goes against the whole plan your time well. So, all right, guys, have a good night, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.